Hulustan Moran Sasin, Luistan Bolat Alteun, Zuil Abunan Ubel Sila, Ustan Dalma, Loth Tumala.
Loth Tumala! Loth Tumala! Sila Jah Nader Absur Oriel. Sergeant Paul Uz Istu Dazi.
I've always felt like I was kind of born out of time and that whatever skills I have don't go well as far as being successful in this civilization. I feel like I am, I have some great destiny and I've just yet to find it. And I look at all the tasks and all the things that I do as an important piece to the puzzle that puts me where I need to be. As it was, I wasn't making the kind of money that my wife was making in the computer industry, and we had a growing family. And we really wanted one of us to stay home with the kids. To make a long story short, I'm a stay-at-home dad. I am putting my shield back together because it was war-torn, literally. The same kind of things that make America and the U.S. great is the kind of thing that makes Darkon great. We're explorers. We want to push the boundaries of the frontier, and we want to do something new. And we want to live out adventures. Everybody wants to be a hero, and in everyday life, most of the time you don't get to be the hero. Most people either spend their time not doing anything or being a victim. And when you're a player character in pretty much any kind of game, you control your fate.
Lord General Keldar, it's your hypocrisy that has been a noose about the neck of the realm for so long.
People around Darkon, listen to what Banner says. He wants to put up a tribunal of the Noble Council to cast judgment upon the way we run our nation. If the Noble Council can sit down and cast judgment on us for the way we do things, what's to stop them from casting judgment on all of you? One of the founding precepts of this realm is individual countries are independent and sovereign.
There are two ways that this can end. Peaceably through the tribunal, or war.
We have fought many wars. We won all of them. Hail Mortem! Hail Mortem! Hail Cutters! Hail Cutters! I care a lot about this country. I've devoted 16, 17 years of my life, or a large part of my life, to it. It's paid huge dividends to me.
When he was young, Kenyon was a loner, and he wasn't a person that gravitated to people. He wasn't a people person at all. And so over time, it was really great to see that not only did he develop relationships, but gain the skills for that, but he was then able to take charge.
I mean, he was very quiet, very introverted, you know, just not very into the social scene. And I think Darkhan, and especially Mortem, has given him the group of friends that he never really had in high school.
I eventually decided to, you know, focus more on all aspects of my life and to try to succeed in those things I chose to do. Keldar was who I wanted to be. Over time, playing at Keldar helped me become the man I wanted to be in real life. It's helped me.
I want second and third talent in the front, first in command, back right. Laconia, you're the linchpin. You're directly to the left of Mortem, connecting to the line of Eleanor. Eleanor, your infantry. Your scouts and the Forgotten Ones on the far left. One more battle, my friends! One more battle, brothers! This war will be ours! Brothers, on this day, we once again achieved victory in the name of the Crimson Griffin. Hail Mortem! Hail Mortem! Hail Konos! Hail Konos! On this province, we found a filthy temple to a foreign and evil god. This shall not stand. Chain?
It's my great pleasure. I humbly beseech thee, Kodos, the Father Griffin, master of heaven and land, who rent the void and tore the mantle of our world from nothing, to use your faithful servant as a conduit for your divine power. The alien influences at work in this land must be cleansed from the path of the Brotherhood of the Crimson Griffin. And as I was taught to do, I pray for a small portion of your unfathomable might to strike all traces of impurity from this land.
There's a lot of anger in the realm against their imperialism. And it works against them every time they oppress a small country. Another country joins our side.
They feel that they're a larger country, and by being a larger country, they can just push around the smaller forces. And it's only a matter of time before those smaller forces become larger forces and push back.
I mean, there's lots of reasons why they're on top of the game, and I respect that. And with Laconia, we'd like to emulate those kinds of things. Brotherhood, unity, discipline.
As far as we are concerned, justice is done. This war is over. To the people of the Dragonhood, we offer no terms, no treaty. You know what acts caused this war. You know what lines should not be crossed. It's up to you whether you wish to cross those lines in the future.
Oh, you got his other arm. He's throwing around his hands, big old hands. Trying to bite at you.
One person lost a bulb of
It's just a flesh wound.
Come on, who's first? Rock, paper, scissors. Stretching. 2 out of 3.
Gaming is so much a part of Skip's life. You have to understand he was raised in it, around it, entrenched with it.
My father was basically a workaholic, and he built up a wholesale war games distribution business. I had always felt like my future was set and I was destined to sit at the head of one of the greatest companies in the world as far as war games. And I mean, I was a kid in the candy store.
The rest of the guys who did football would go drink beer in their pickup trucks or whatever, but we would go play D&D. We even played in like science class sometimes. Because the guy was like, blah, 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 it's a sedimentary rock, blah, 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 you know. So we're just like, yeah, 30 points of damage. Yeah.
I think I grew up also very much like Skip, thinking that we'd probably be working there the rest of our lives, and it would be our business at some point, and we'd be running it, and or running it into the ground, whatever you'd want to say. But it just didn't turn out that way.
Like most empires, when the emperor dies, the empire falls apart. And that's what happened.
Move out here! Form on me!
Kronos wants you to kill him!
Worthless cowards! Cowering behind high walls! My nation doesn't even build walls! We're men and survive by the muscles in our arms! And our wits! And our bravery!
Alright, buddy. You're gonna come with us.
You said survive. Where are you right now?
You filthy worthless! If you care, you can carry me, you can carry me. You filthy worthless mongrels! I make my own men carry me too, you can ask you guys. Here I am with my lifeblood slowly draining into the ground, and yet I have more balls than your entire nation put together.
The way the game is played is that you call your own shots. I determine what hit me, not the person who's hitting me.
When you get hit on a limb, you lose that limb, lose use of the limb. You get hit again, you're dead. If you get hit in the torso, and I'm talking all unarmored, because all you are unarmored for now. When you get hit in the torso with a white sword, or actually any weapon, you're gonna go either mortal or dead. Morningstar, if you're hitting towards the head, you want to go straight up and down, like this. Red weapon is basically very similar to a black sword when you're not wearing any armor.
Red is stabbing, yellow is crushing, white is single-handed blade, black is two-handed bladed. And I really the purpose behind it is to make sure that people know what they're getting hit with. You know, because each weapon does different kinds of damage to different types of armor.
Right away when you first start wearing armor, even if it's just leather, you've got that extra hit that gives you the opportunity to swing back right after you're hit. And so you go from dying immediately pretty much whenever you get hit to at least being able to throw back one.
In Darkon, you get killed, you're back up in 12 minutes. Even if you get assassinated, you're back in 24 hours, which at the very least is the next event.
I get hit, I can fake like I'm dying, what have you. I get resurrected as a zombie, look for brains, the whole nine.
There's usually no point to the combat except for, you know, seeing which side will win, or, you know, who gets the most kills and that kind of stuff. Whereas wars are a unique thing that pit two different forces against each other, and they're usually fighting over a hex of land or you know, some kind of created scenario.
I guess the only way you can keep score over a long period of time is your presence on the game's land map. You know, however many hexes of land you claim, you know, I mean, you can look at it, you can look at the map and you know which countries have been around a long time and you know which countries are brand new.
Basically, land wars are more of a, we're stealing your pride, we're crushing your ego. So, I mean, it's imaginary hexes of land on a map. But when someone wants your imaginary hexes, you get upset and defend them.
Darkon takes place every 2 weeks, and we fight in parks or behind schools. And about once a month, we have campouts during the summer, spring, and fall.
I come here, pay $5, 3 days, beat everything within sight. Have a good time, sit down, drink a beer, good times, good friends. I'm sorry, what else is there? It's almost as good as the American dream.
Keep the change. You sure?
Positive.
You wanted this one?
Mm-hmm.
And this one?
The agony?
Yeah.
That's paralysis.
Oh, thank you. I need that.
If you come across more agonies, they'll be bought.
Okay.
But the one thing that I do need,
yes,
and will pay greatly for, is a supernatural death poison.
Okay.
You gonna give me a fair fight? Or you gonna fight like elves?
Shield break 2. Red. Yellow.
Dead?
Ah.
He's too.
Darkon's a very political place, and if we want to do business in the shadows, then that's how we have to conduct it, is in the shadows, and we can't be blatant with it. As long as we do that, we're respected by the other realms. They leave us alone because they don't know what's happened.
I have my concerns about our allegiance to Mordum. No matter what we do for Mordum, if we stand there like we did in the sleet and the rain, propping up their government, they feel like I'm working on, like the rope is being unthreaded, and I'm
like you
putting
say,
it back together as quickly as I can.
2 steps forward, 1 step back.
Yeah. Makes you wonder.
Becky created a family. Becky really did, through all of her hard work, and she made this family work because she would not quit. She wouldn't give up, no matter what she had to deal with, whether she was only fielding 4 people, including herself, or whether she was fielding 15.
I'm 28 and I live in my parents' basement, and other people that are younger than I am, some of them own their own houses. They're out living out on their own.
There was a princess trapped inside it, and the brave knight slayed the dragon and killed the giant.
Before I had Tristan, I was a stripper for 2 years. I just recently started getting child support, so I haven't saved up enough money to move out yet, but as soon as I find a suitable roommate and save up the money, I'm so out of here. You get very resentful to having to always answer to someone else. Always. I don't really have control in this house, especially as long as Mom's home, because this is her house. She's in control. I go to work, my boss is in control. I go to Darkon, I'm in control. Can you dripping on me? Can I have a hug? This is why I tried begging my parents to watch him today. I'm like, Mom, come on. Why don't she let him take your shirt? You want to take your shirt coat off? Mommy has a job to do, and I really do need you to give me my arm back. Why can't we have all of them?
Well, we can have all of them, but then it's going to be 70 gold.
I don't care about the money. I want all of them.
Great.
Day in, day out, I go to work on an assembly line assembling cardboard displays. It's boring. It is the most god-awful, boring thing in the world.
You know, it's like I'm a buyer for a fabric store. And there's people who come into the store and, you know, looking for something, and they find what they want or they don't find what they want because of how well I've done my job. But in terms of the big picture in the real world, I could not be working there, and it would make no significant difference. It wouldn't have any big impact on anybody else's lives.
You come to this game and you're able to wheel and deal with people, manipulate things, make things happen, make things work, and something I wish I could do in real life.
I scrapped it for a while. I just drew the pencil out, and then I started up again, and then for some reason that's me because it's my armor. Some people just want more, you know. Some people are tired of working their ass off to, you know, keep their internet access going, and, you know, working for material goods that you could just watch TV and sit around and you know, stay in your house, when you can work for adventure, you know. Everything is gone, you know. Everything that was once noble and good in this world is gone, and there's just replaced with Walmart, you know, Walmart and McDonald's and Burger King. And that's how it is in America, you know, suburban sprawl, same building you see like in Texas, you'll see in Virginia, it's pretty bad.
What about him? He won't move?
You can take that to Daddy. Help him with that. I'll put the table back together. Awesome. All right, Dad.
Okay. Teamwork action.
What is... You can't fly. I'm gonna get it. Put it on my tree. His wings are bent. His wings are bent. He's
What's your favorite kind of character? What would you be if you could be a fantasy world?
2 people.
Oh yeah? What?
A knight
A knight?
and a horseman.
Did you know Daddy got to be a knight this weekend?
Jump in the pool.
No.
Please. Your brain got squashed.
My brain did get squashed.
I'll use my bare hands. I'll kill him. Help me. Help me.
I feel like I've done great things and have been passed over, but now is my time to be recognized, and I will continue on my path to greatness. And I hope someday to rise amongst the ranks of the nobility, and I even have great ambitions to one day sit upon the throne of Darkon. I believe it is my destiny.
Cardboard was my first character that I ever started. First time I ever walked into Darkon, I was wearing full plate, but not normal full plate made out of steel or iron. I made it out of cardboard. Biggest mistake I've ever made in Darkon. During the third campout, the Nurgle campout, I was assassinated 7 times. I went from cardboard through Bob 1 through 6, and that was a big sign that people didn't like cardboard. I killed off the old character. I started a new character, Triv Gorgo. He's the one that I'm playing right now. Some people think I'm a joke, but I will earn their respect. I roleplay because in my other life, I'm not like this. In my other life, when I'm not at Darkon, I'm a college student, I work at Starbucks, I'm just normal, and when I walk out here, I'm a different person. I get to do different things. I can act like I'm not Danny. I like Danny, but sometimes Danny doesn't have the balls to do what Danny needs to. I'm afraid to go up to girls. So, yeah. You can see why I'm more or less a nerd, but in here, we're all more or less equal when it comes to social standards. We're all the same type, but we all have our individuality.
Wait, I'm here. Anybody alive?
Thank God there's no more contact poison.
Banner! Alexis! Erica! Playhouse!
Mother load. Sweet. If I die, oh well.
You coming, dude?
Here you go.
Oh, thanks. This is going back to the country because I'm in debt.
This is going straight to my personal coffers.
We've been allied with Mortem strongly in the past, and we've ensured, victory after victory. And at this point, we've grown tired of picking up the scraps, or at least I have. And I would like to strike out on our own, or at least in a new direction. It'll be a great challenge if we choose to oppose the Mordomian alliance. But I'm not sure if my mage is ready for that yet. I don't want to cross Alephas because Alephas has other plans. Even though I don't think that they're good for us. I want to strike out on our own. I don't.
Then
wanna...
why? I thought you wanted no quarter.
No, I want to work with. I want to get stuff done. Okay.
Then we're on our own. This is what we wanted.
Right.
Banner, can I speak with you?
We continue to hear from multiple sources that you are distancing yourself from us and moving away from the friendship that we once had. And I just want to know why, my friend.
What I'm seeing over and over again is how out of one side of your mouth you deal with us honorably, but at the same time there are dark goings on in your country. And I feel that you have a duplicitous nature, and that you say one thing to me, and yet the plans for the domination of the realm by your country are continue to go forward.
Banner, you do never,
at this point,
over these many years, ever raised any of these concerns to us.
Until I watched you drag the stones away and destroy the Dragovic Temple and crush a culture. I watched them led away in chains.
And you stood there with us and fought with us in our war and justice after they insulted our God.
What happened?
And you said what a glorious and wonderful and honorable war it was.
Honorable.
And you stood there next to us and you helped us do it.
Believe me, the glory of battle and standing by your side in victory was a great thing. And there's nothing more that fires my soul.
Peter, I think you're a little late to morality now.
I don't think you can ever be too late to do what's right. I think that every man has a choice, and that every moment is the time to make that choice, and that you can redeem yourself.
I
don't know whether there's any good in you,
Banner,
but I know that there are.
You see an opportunity now, and you're going to take it. Good luck.
That's
More
how
power
you see
to
it,
you.
because you're a manipulating government, and you would vie for the most power, and that's how
I'm an honest man, and we are part of an honest government. Yes, we are an imperialistic power. Yes, we conquer other nations. We expand our land holdings. We work towards the prosperity of our people and the continued expansion of the Greater Mordomian prosperity sphere. And we're fucking honest about it. We admit our motives and our goals, and we have been totally honest with you the entire time you and I have known each other. Now, you have these moral issues. Fine. But think carefully, Banner. We're not going to come after you. You would have to move against us. If you do so, you know what the end result will be.
I think I know what the end result will be, but I think that you might be incorrect as to your presumption of the outcome of the situation, and that perhaps you should reconsider what you're saying to me, and that when the realm is united, there will be nothing that can stand in our way.
This conversation's over.
Hail Mortem! Hail Mortem! Hail Connell! Hail Laconia! Hail Laconia!
We sell Rainbow Play Systems. It's our biggest line. I mean, it's our biggest product that we sell here. It's also, in my opinion, as well as everybody that works here, at the top of the market. Hold on, please. Hey, Rob. Maria Plano on line 1 says that she thinks they installed the wrong set today. When kids role play fantasy, it's expected because they're children. And when adults do it, a lot of times they get looked down on for it because, oh, you're grown-ups, you shouldn't be playing games unless it's on a board. And so I guess I never really thought of the two as being the same because of the way most of society looks at adults and children when they play games. You know, if it's not a deck of cards or if it's not on a board in front of you, somehow it's not right or normal.
You role play your entire life. You role play being, you know, the clerk at McDonald's. You don't really want to be there. You're just playing the role because you're trying to make money.
Oh, I role play the part every day at work. I mean, I'm a retail manager for Hot Topic, and I role play the part of a cool guy who wants you to buy his clothes like every day.
Certainly if you're in situations like a formal dinner or at a wedding, there are very structured roles you're supposed to play, which you've learned over your life, and you play them. Darkon's just a little different, and those are more roles that you've chosen to play for fun. Darkon allows you to play an aspect of yourself that you don't normally, or you may not normally be able to do in real life. But it's only a part of yourself that you might want to be, or that you want to explore. So there's a part of Malkin in Gary, but Gary isn't Malkin.
Because Bill just wants to be a nice guy, just wants to have a good time, just enjoy life. Creed wants a little bit more. He wants to be the imperialistic bastard. He wants to hunt down his enemies. He wants to. His revenge is what he is. His revenge upon whatever pisses Bill off. That's what Creed is.
Everybody has rage, whether it's in your car, whether it's in at work, at your boss, at your spouse. I think that a lot of people use Darkon to get rid of that darker, impulses.
Wherever we're role-playing and somebody's role-playing a gypsy and she's trying to charm me and she's using her female, abilities and stuff like that, she takes it serious. And we got in an argument, it's like, okay, it was just role-playing.
These experiences that I share with the people around me are very real. And, whether it's cliche or whatever, it's like the Pink Floyd song, all that you see and all that you touch and all that you ever do is all that you're going to be. So when we dedicate this much time in our lives to this game, it becomes our reality.
It's like watching the TV, but you're the hero, Who doesn't want that? If you can watch Brad Pitt or you could be Brad Pitt, which would you rather do?
Paladin. Riding a Pegasus, right, Dad?
Yep. That's Pegasus.
Sometimes your finger gets tired from it.
Certainly looking dangerous on this radar picture, the yellows, the reds. You can see here as you cross over into Virginia, some heavy rains developed between Roanoke and the Richmond area.
We're so busy during the week, and the weekend's like the only time that we have to
be together. So when we leave and we're away from the kids, or he leaves and he's not here with us, it's a little hard.
I would like to see Lord General Keldar brought before a tribunal of the Noble Council.
You sound bitter and ambitious. You do understand that they may control the Noble Council, and that bringing Keldar before them may simply bring them down upon you.
There's been 20 years of Mortem driving countries from the realm. And I think unless we act, there will be 20 more.
Mortem is an extremely powerful and dangerous entity in this realm. We must negotiate with them from a point of strength. We shall reveal to the realm the dangers, the threat to them, and it will be in their interest to join us.
Mortem originally formed here, around this bay. That is our capital, and we expanded northwards for many years. Years later, we started encircling various sections of land. We have our Bonze-Elvin National Wildlife Refuge, our Griffin Reserve, and then we decided to claim a much larger portion of land.
They've actually lined out specific parts of the map that they say no one else can search because it's Mortem's manifest destiny.
Kodos created the world for us, and then all these other squatters were taken over by false gods. Now what we're doing is we're not conquering their land, we are reclaiming it.
We didn't model ourselves really after any historical country. We designed all that from the ground up. We created our own history and mythos and storyline and culture.
This is our opportunity, this is our time to do something for something greater than just who we are, but something for this imaginary country that we invented, that we have all this pride in. To be able to claim something in the name of Mortem and Kodos is just a glorifying feeling as well. And to conquer people in his name. That's a good feeling too. To oppress, yeah.
We're portrayed as evil, but on the other hand, we're just, working our agenda. We're expanding our empire, we're protecting people, we're protecting our borders. And it's not like I'm gonna have my cup of coffee and then look at my evil checklist.
Have you seen what we've done to people? They're afraid. They're cowering. I can tell you how to beat us today, but you know what? They're too afraid to try it.
I usually go for the legs when I'm fighting somebody, because most people don't wear much armor on their legs. The last one I've almost never used because the problem is you hit people in the face and they don't like that. It's used mainly for smaller shields to knock the shields off. Cat litter. Still have chores to do. Go back. During the Columbine events, someone had thought that I had wrote a list. It was actually the teacher's detention list, and it had names on it. That was a very bad time for me because people had skirted me in halls, thought me a freak. I was always scared, always tired, always angry. When I'm at Darkon, I lose all my responsibilities, all my fears, everything. It's freedom. And I wouldn't let people mess that up. I had let people mess up earlier parts of my life. I had some good things going in high school, but it got ruined by other people. I was not going to let anybody, no matter if they physically beat me down, I would not let anybody take Darkon away from me. I have more confidence in my fighting, and I have more confidence in my physical. I have been losing weight through Darkon. In the training that I do out in my backyard, I have lost weight. And if I lose more weight, I might have the balls to talk to somebody. I might have the ability or the will to talk to a girl.
Our country's our allies, that kind of helps.
Yeah, so we just kind of stay how we are. Not a big change.
Our characters are not dating, though. If you ever see us smooching, it's not in character. I don't believe in real-life couples being together in character, because what happens if you break up? Now you're like, oh, now our characters have to break up. That's so lame. Yeah, plus, my character's an Amazon. She don't believe in marriage.
For me to do what I needed to do in the game, to to be able to try, try some of the ideas I had and create what I wanted, I had to leave the country.
Unfortunately, James didn't really feel part of the brotherhood that we created in Laconia. Which is sad because I considered him a friend and a brother and a part of the team. I think in the end, he was bribed by Mordomian gold and promises of power and glory.
Here's what happened. He devised a way to slowly kill himself and age quickly and gain the power of lichdom. Thus, his mind went insane with power. He did not want to listen to Banner or some of the other people in Laconia. So now he's starting his own thing and his own quest for power and glory in the name of evil.
What is in-game power? That's what he's after, is in-game power. What is in-game power compared to real friendships, you know? I don't get it. Why are you gonna ditch your friends?
To put it most simply, is I would rather fight with you than against you. And that's the bottom line. And there's lots of stuff that goes into that. We started Laconia together. I mean, it was a drive home from a camp out when we conceived the country, and we went home and we made it happen, and we worked really hard together. And I do feel like you...
But I've also invested a lot. Before I left, I sat there and gave all this stuff. I haven't taken anything. I kept giving and giving before I left to leave on the best terms I can. I'm trying to do everything I can to make this fair as I can for everybody. And yeah, I'm getting subjected to this. Oh, no. I'm not standing for that. Screw that.
Why don't you go with them? I don't even feel like dealing with it. And frankly, I'm offended.
And now I wanted to do this because I wanted to just...
I'm so offended, it's not even funny. I can't deal with it.
Who's not offended? I've just been offended the whole night.
I feel like I'm over a barrel, and
I'm so it sickens me that the country doesn't even realize that they sat there and gave me a hard time.
You know what? They're not gonna back off, and I'm standing with them. And that's the bottom line. So,
but I'm trying to leave on the best terms I can, and people are trying to make it hard on me.
You have failed. I think it's a choice between old friends and new friends.
But you see, once again, when you know me, if you threaten me like that, if you're trying to threaten me out of character, all it does is
It's because there's no. I don't feel like there is in character and out of character when it comes to this.
It's a game.
It's that microcosm, macrocosm.
Reality.
Little world, just as real as big world.
Laconia!
Come forth this day that we may be brought closer together. And through force of arms and test of our bravery, we will become one. With Theros, I make a great sacrifice. Zeus, Poseidon, hear my call. Apollo, Athena, know that we come. In the name of the ancients, in the heat of battle, home to the razor's edge by the test of the gods. It is Laconia that will make a difference. Know what it is that you fight for. I know what I fight for. Sepwin, I know what I fight for.
The list is, I don't know, 6, 8, maybe more countries long, I guess, in their history that they've either driven from the game or put in a state of stasis. And I think that countries would rather not do that, would rather not face something like extinction. But I mean, that's really the big battle, isn't it? You know, it's the underdog. It's coming through, and I think that's very American to want to fight that battle.
I can't stand by and watch Mortem step on anybody. Even if I don't like them, it's just, you know, they're the big guy, and they're stepping on the little guy. And they play it up, and that's their deal, and my deal is opposing them. We're the terrorists, and Mortem's the United States. They're the superpower, and we're the terrorists. We're striking out, you know, the best we can. Yeah. It's crossed my mind that, you know.
We're gonna stay tight. I think you should sit back and try to cast spell balls, not get involved.
Engaged.
Yeah. Because you're gonna do more damage with a fireball.
And they'll come in. Turn in! Cut it now! Get over here now! Don't stop now! Don't stop now, Red! Mortem, to me! Everyone with us, to me! Now! All of you idiots, over here! Hit that board! Do not let my men die alone! Jump out! Him! Kill him!
I still feel like there is nothing I can do that will ever be good enough for the people that I want a little bit of respect from. I've been yelled at by my country members today. Nobody has, you know, paid attention to any orders I've been giving. Even though I have like 1 or 2 friends in every country, I know that I wouldn't fit in anywhere else. And I don't even fit in my own country. Darkon is supposed to be my escape from that world that just keeps beating on you, and you can't get out from underneath it. The problem is as much game and as much fantasy as in Darkon, that real world mentality still keeps coming back, and that's to be better than somebody else. And everybody out here wants to be better than everybody else. I don't. I want one person to say, I'm as good as them.
A good movie is a movie that's a good storyline. Violence is optional, and comedy, because that's pretty much some essentials of a movie. Because, like, you know, first it can be like maybe a huge battle scene in the beginning, then storyline and maybe some comedy, then some battles and stuff, then more storyline, and then
another battle,
and then another battle,
and another battle,
and more comedy. Cause like you can't really have a good movie without any of those 3 essentials.
That's why your drink tastes really funny. Did you see my sword just
Please don't make it too straight, Skip.
The sword doesn't fall out because it wasn't in.
This is our castle, not yours, you pathetic orcs! I'm dead. This is it. Shoot your arrows, my men! Load the catapults! Peasants, scatter away! Kill them all! Kill them! Get the phone. Shoot! Missing purpose. That's all I can say for today. Goodbye.
Go, go, go.
I like masks too. All kinds of helmets, any kind of headgear. Hats, masks, it's all cool. Lord General Keldar, I call you to stand trial at the ancient Citadel of Peace for your many crimes against the people of the realm of Darkon. You must appear at the Citadel in a month's time, unarmed, with only the tools you need to defend yourself before the accusations brought forward by your peers. All the free nations of the realm of Darkon rally behind this great cause, and will meet you on the field of battle should you refuse to present yourself for this reckoning before the people of the realm of Darkon. Lord Banner of Laconia.
The cause of freedom has persevered and is yet to meet defeat. As we have marched on, our enemies grow stronger. They aim to seize the Citadel of Peace and use it to host a puppet court. This is a direct threat to every nation's sovereignty. To those who have stood by our side in this conflict, you have my thanks. It is your blood, sweat, and tears that have won victory for the cause of freedom so far. But I must ask you, one more time, to take the field of war. Mordum has already sent our fastest ships to the Isle of the Elders. The Mordomian expeditionary forces on board are some of our very best. They will secure the Citadel of Peace and protect it from Banner's quest for tyranny. Lord General Keldar Vinrex.
There were no windows, just one door. Inside, the flag was on the wall.
So Mordum is going to field 35 guys. Elidor will field 25. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On paper, we suck. We lose. In reality?
And you said you're gonna get better bungees?
That thing goes, man.
Wow. Wow.
Come on, push! Big step! Red! White! White! White!
A lot of little stuff.
So in theory, they can just take your
what
body.
What they want to do is capture me, hold me alive for 30 minutes, and then they can put me on trial.
They have to hold you for 30 minutes.
They have to hold me alive for 30 minutes.
I really do want to be a superhero sometimes, in real life. I wish I could get more stuff done and make more of a positive change in the world, or at least have some effect through my actions. You know, most of the time, you go through life and you do what you have to do, and instead of the things that you dream of doing. So sometimes I do the things I dream of.
We claim this castle in the name of the Greater Mordomian Co-Prosperity Sphere. All right, let's head up the hill. Come on. Come on, push out down to the field. We are but echoes of the past, ripples in the pool of time. But let us make waves today, and let us color the sea blood red with the gore and ichor of our enemies. For we are gathered to free the realm from Mordomian domination, to do that which has not been done. We are gathered for the future of Darkon. Hail the Lion! It belongs to the realm of Darkon! Freedom to the people! Here they come!
not allow myself to be killed or run any risk of falling into the enemy's hands, since what Banner was trying to accomplish was to capture me and put me on trial. And I swore to my brothers I would not allow that to happen.
This structure, which we defended all day, is no longer of use. Burn it down.
Banner wants to prove himself, you know, show everybody that he can lead this thing. He can't lead crap, and he's gonna pay, and they're all gonna pay. And after this one, we're gonna break them.
Where's my keys? Bye.
Here is my domain, within this metal skin. And I pledge all that I still own. Muscle, bone, blood, and the heart that pumps it.
Knights of the Round Table.
When you're out there and you're facing another team, 100+ people across the field from you, and they're preparing to charge and you're preparing to run in and do whatever it is that you're going to do, there's an immediacy to that, which really grounds you in that particular moment.
With wars, tempers flare, people act the way they normally wouldn't act. I mean, you can see blood in their eyes. Like in the last couple battles in the field, like when I'm fighting Laconians and whatnot, I mean, I see blood in their eyes. They're not playing. They want to win, and they're fighting to win.
When you're out there and you fight in one of these big battles, you know, we name the battles afterwards and we tell stories about them, and you remember I was there.
The shared experience of warriors in the field, it's a difficult thing to reconcile. The fact that they had the best time of their life while they were in a hell. And maybe that's another reason why we're drawn to this, kind of like it's that moth to the flame. You know, it's that adrenaline rush of even the imagined combat.
We got dropped. It's about 10 guys in the unit into a neighborhood of all places, because we were expecting like a clear drop zone, and the doors open and we see houses. So we landed. I hit a roof and landed on the roof. And it's after going through all that crap over there, it's nice to come home.
When we were over there, there's a 8-year-old girl with a bomb tied to her that somebody sent to blow us up. An 8-year-old girl. That right there made me realize, holy shit, I could die. This is gonna, if I'm not alert, if I'm not whatever, this isn't Darkon, this is real life.
When I'm making coffee and people are bitching at me and whining and taking it personally that we don't have certain items and I can't do anything about it and they just get meaner and meaner, I think about campouts, I think about practice, I think about when I'm going home and I'm gonna go practice, and sometimes I imagine the people in line are wearing armor and I start beating them with my black sword. I've actually got a relationship trying to go on in character with a certain nomad, and I don't have any relationships out of character. In character, I've been following and helping this person more than anybody else, and it's cost me several things, like my life on several occasions, but it's beautiful. I've never experienced a relationship with another person. This is the closest thing I've come, and at this point, this is enough for me right now. I don't know if I'm ready for a relationship, but this is getting me closer. Each person can claim they have, like, I am the manliest stud in the world, but we're still vulnerable. We still have our problems, we still have our fears, and people just don't like getting out of their little castle.
No.
All right, then. This is your room. By this point in my life, I thought that I would be married with a couple of kids and working part-time while I stayed home during the day to take care of the kids, go to work while they're in school, doing all that, and instead I'm doing it all by myself and working, and it's just not where I thought I'd be. I'm not saying where I'm as bad, it's just not where I thought I'd be. And I don't know when that part of my life is, if it ever will happen. It's really starting to rain now. I'm glad I waited until after we moved all the boxes in. You know, I've never lived on my own before, by myself without roommates. You know, I've always either lived with a roommate or my parents or a boyfriend, and I've never had a place all to myself. I'm on my own. No roommates. It's all me.
When we get in the car, can I?
Yeah, if you want it right away. Come on, Skip, you're pushing. As a young teenager and a young adult, I was a complete slacker and screw off, and basically squandered the opportunity that I had to really have my foot in the door, and it allowed my brother to capitalize and consolidate his position in the company as a leader in the company.
I said something about his wife, your blah 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 wife is on the phone again. And next thing you know, he's up in front of me at my desk, and I'm on the phone, and I'm kind of trapped in a little area like this, and he's like, "What did you call my wife?" And you know, we had words back and forth, and I had a phone in my hand, and I hit him with the phone.
Basically, I got fired from the business because there's no way that he could work with me after I beat him up in front of his staff.
And he just hit me one time, right in the mouth, square in the mouth, and knocked my teeth through my bottom lip, and I went down, and I really didn't even know where I was.
My brother ended up with power of attorney over my father and his stuff. You know, at very screwed up points in my brothers and sisters' lives, he bought them out of their stock for probably pennies on the dollar of a multi-million-dollar organization. And then, you know, while the whole time he was pretty much scheming to cash in.
Everybody felt like they were a little cheated. They don't know what the terms of the sale was, but nobody had any ownership in the business at the time.
I'm sure that was tough for Skip. I'm sure it was really tough. I mean, it was his dream. I think it was very difficult for us, especially because this came from a family member. And I think that my dad's wishes would have been that we all stayed and that we all worked together. And if something did come profitable and sell the company, that we'd all share from it.
Sahani.
Vintashman da mordam.
Orho chayana no gulak.
Dosustalra quest malkin plus us bluto zachath. Uki glatin zenun intuit. Plakla ulu short like follow laconian and bane.
So.
But in the event that they go heavy force to the right, and to confuse their heavy force, what I would do is put all of our artillery on the right side.
They're not going to take us light. They're going to see us coming.
They're going to see you guys all arrayed
They're
over
going to
there.
send a heavy armor after us, shields. I guarantee it. They're going to send something crazy.
And I guess the question, like what we were thinking of, was that if they came in, you would spin around and spin wide.
Whoa. Far outside, Dragon Hood, more.
I think these guys.
I think those guys go wide, not forward.
I think they only advance forward if they funnel in directly.
Let's say that those mages all have protection capes. Then after that fireball, they're all dead. It's that type of communication and synchronization that can really make the difference.
They won't put it on everything.
My existence in the game is coming to a head right now. We either win or lose Darkon tomorrow.
I'm getting paid 2,000 gold to go with those guys, and I'm getting paid another 2,000 gold not to betray them. I'm willing to write off the other two if you can come up with 3. Because I'd stand to make 4,000 gold today.
Oh, no.
Fuck that. I gave him 8,000. 8,000 gold. 8,000.
To do is make you embrace full darkness that is chaos. With this ceremony, whether you want to or not, we will take your conscience. Bow your heads. Love is false, hate is real. Damnation's our true salvation, and their gods wept the day we were born. Welcome to the Horde.
Unleash the Dark, that would be fine into their line, or if you want to just charge out and fight with us, that would be good as well.
Line up, lads!
Elidor.
Otto! Commanders! Helkin! Alliance commanders! Alliance! We have already come as far as anyone has come, fighting Marna. Today is the day that we take a step into the unknown, into a world where the myth of Mordomian supremacy is over. We shall break their stranglehold on this realm. This is not a fight about me or Keldar. This is about the freedom of your nations. Free from reclamation. Free from the camps. Free to fight. Alliance commanders, now is your time to rise up. Take hold of your forces. Make your troops fight as they've never fought before. Victory for the free people of the realm! Hail Darkon! LB! Exit stage left.
Good job. Thank you, guys. We appreciate your help.
This man started this conflict in a mad grasp for power. His army has been defeated, his cause overthrown. He insulted my nation, my own individual honor. A duel! If he falls to me, then his death shall be done honorably, which may be more than he deserves, but due to his noble title and blood, and due to your will, I believe that is acceptable.
Lord General Keldar, Duke of the Realm, are you ready? I'm ready. Sir Banner, are you ready? I am ready. With honor and courage, lay on!
Fight! 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 Fight!
Long before, in my professional career, I was ready for a management position, I was managing a large group of people in Darkon. Long before I was ready to negotiate a multi-million-dollar business contract, I was negotiating a treaty between our country and other countries in Darkon. And while one is for fun and the other is for money, in reality, people are people and it's still the same sort of drivers. None of our wars are just another war. Every one is different, unique, and worthy of stories and songs and lies after the fact. And all be enshrined in our history. Once again, my brothers stepped up, and our friends and allies stepped up, and we were able to overachieve and bring victory and glory to all of the free nations of Darkon, and I really mean that. That wasn't just rhetoric.
My mother was a Celtic princess taken on a raid by a Viking chieftain who protected her and took her as his own. She died having me. I had stepbrothers who all turned to the Chaos Gods, which my father fought against.
Our mother was, and our father ran from an invading force, and she was pregnant. And she was in the middle of the woods, and she went into labor. I was lost and abandoned there, and we were separated, and I went through some searching, and that's how I went into Elador and other places before I came back.
My body was taken to the Amazons. I was burned. They gathered my ashes, and they put me in water. From the water came an egg. The egg was planted in the ground, and a tree came from the ground almost instantaneously, and I was born from the tree. Born not by man or woman, but by the elements.
You know, I took my fate into my own hands and just said, I'm going to do this. And I went out and did it. Everyone faces failure, defeat, and struggles with the human condition, which is just really to survive. It's so strange. The fact that my heart only has so many beats, and the system is going to fail sooner or later. It's not a very comforting feeling. There is a certain desperation to life. It's all terminal. We're gonna die. And maybe fantasy and religion and all those things are, if not crutches, vehicles that get you from birth to death. I think that the people who get the most out of life are those that have a rich fantasy world. It's part of what allows people to hope. Part of what gives us our drive to accomplish things. Once people stop fantasizing, whether it be about that girl or about that job or a pair of sneakers or whatever it is, if there was no dream to try and bring into reality, then we would stagnate.